Welcome back to Daily Akari. Sorry I missed yesterday. Let's do number 461 by 700 KPC. No, that is not a quarter elimination. This is, though. These two. I am getting my wisdom teeth out tomorrow, getting sedated, and I'm hoping I can record the Monday puzzle while I'm under the influence of that. Of the sedation drug, whatever the knocks me out. What's it called? Um, this can go here, because that can just go there, and that's fine. Right now, I'm just trying to solve the puzzle. I'd like to solve the puzzle. If this were to go here, this would have to go here, and then there would be nothing to light this up, I don't think. What's the difficulty on this one? Very hard. Yeah, so if this goes here, this would be X'd off. This would all be blue. Nothing could light this up, so it can't go here. It has to go here or here. If this were to go here, this would have to go here. And then this would go here. And then this would go here. Yep. This can't go here, as to, because one of these two has to light this up. If it's anything along this row other than this one, then it has to be this. If it's either of these two, then it's this. Let's picture if this row were blue, this would go here. We would have corner elimination here and here. So I have to be lit up here. This would be eliminated. What else? This would have to go here, which would put this here, and then this here. Oh, there's a corner elimination here that I missed. I'm not seeing very much. Yep. Let's see, we've got some identicals along the sides. I don't think we have any along top or bottom, though. This goes here, this goes here, and then if this goes here, this goes here. I think it has to be one of these two, there's no other way. Yeah, because if this goes here, this has to go here, and if this goes here, this has to go here. So that eliminates all of these. Yep, these two are identical. Missed that. This section of 3 right here is entirely dependent on how this goes, and how this goes depends on what? I don't know. If this were blue and this were blocked off, this would have to go here and this would have to go here. But if there were a light here and this were blue, this would there would be a light here and a light here. So this is just an end that doesn't affect anything. And so this is probably another end, depending on how this side is lit up. Wait, do we have like the same kind of logic in this little section as we do this little section? So if this were to go here, this would have to be lit up by that. And if this were to go here, this would have to be lit up by that. So yeah, same applies to this side here. And that gives us, I think, the same situation on the bottom. I might just go around in a circle. If this goes here, this has to go here, and if this goes here, this has to go here. So that eliminates all of these. And then two ways this could go. This has to be one of these two, so it's not going to be this and this. I think we have the same situation over here, so that eliminates all these. And I think we have the same situation here. If it's this one, it has to be this one, and if it's this one, it has to be this one. So that eliminates all these, and that gives us a couple lights. And that has to go there, puts that there. Puts this here, puts that there. Yep. Now what? This has to be lit up by that. Which leaves one here. This has to be lit up by that. Which leaves one here. A corner elimination here. And a corner elimination here. This can't go here. Hang on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Got interrupted, but I'm back now. This were to go here and here, and this would go here and here. That's fine. If this were to go, oh wait, there's only one left here. Duh. Which puts this here, and then that goes there and there. Yep. Hang on, if this were to go here, there would be nothing to light this up. Oh wait, this is already the only square that can light itself up, so that definitely goes there. And then this has to be lit up by that, and then this can be lit up by that. Two left here. This has to be lit up by that. That goes there. That goes there. And we're done. Alright. 8 minutes 42 seconds, perfect score. Let's move on to today's. Press home. Number 462, Very Hard Sunday Puzzle by How You Doing 0708. I don't know if that's what that actually means, but that's how my brain interprets it. If this were to go on any of the corners, this would go here, this would go here, that works just fine. Same with this. And I'm not seeing any eliminations I can make right off the bat, except these couple of identicals. If this were to go on the corners, then we would have one left here, and that's fine. And then this could go here, this would go here, this would go here. Hang on. If both of these, if I picture both of these as blue, then I can probably prove that it's not either of these if we find a conflict. So imagine both of these are blue. Actually doesn't give me any information, any useful information. At least I don't think it does. I don't know where to look for this one, honestly. If it were any of these corners, then we would have one on the other side, and then one on the end, and then we would have one here and one here. Yep. If this goes here, then we would have a corner elimination here. It doesn't really tell me anything. I freaking hate that beep sound that just happens now and then. Well, I mean, I make my own beep sound, so I can't really complain, but hey, at least it's a human with a developmental disorder doing it instead of just a machine. Oh wait, I can prove it's not both of these, because that would put 2 against the 1. So that proves this, and that, and this. Oh, and this. Anything that would light up this row and this column at the same time. So that would also put 2 against a 1. So if this were to go here, this would go here, this would go here, this would go here, this would go here. This would go here or here. So if it's either of these corners, this would go here, this would go here. So, and then we would have 1 here, and then if these would be blocked off, we would have 1 here, and I think both of these would be open. This would have to go here, and this would have to go here, and that would put 2 here. Which would mean this goes here. And over on this side, what would be blocked? This would be here. This would be the only square able to light itself up. I should put an X here and here. We would already have a light here. And I think that would just about solve the puzzle. But I'm not sure. I might not be. I'm not looking at it, so I'm just imagining it. So I can't tell for sure. But there's probably some vitals in that trial that I just looked through. Yep. If this were to go here, it doesn't do me any good to look at this square in particular, but whatever. This would go here. Wait, no, that can't go there. This can't go here. This can't go. We can just eliminate all these corners, just because that would immediately put 2 against a 1. Anything else that would close off 2 of these? Wait, if this were to go on any of the corners, then this would go here and this would go here. And then there would have to be light here and here, which does not work. So I think that eliminates literally all the corners. This too. If it were to go along the bottom, we could have like just one of each. So like we could have this here and this here, and then we would see lights here, 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 and here. Meow. Meow. What else? What else would we see? Meow. 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 Let's imagine this top row were blue. This would go here. Then we would see lights here, here, and here. Put this here and here. So, hang on, if this top row is blue, that would be here, 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 here. Should put here and here. Let's see, there would be 1 and 2 here. If this were blue, I think could apply the same logic. There would be a light here, and then here, here, and here, and that would leave these two. But could we see either of these lit up? That's my question. If this were to go here, it would go here, 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 and here. I think that works out. Let's see, there would be okay, can anything go on the ends here? Does that create a conflict with something else I was looking at? Like, does it create a conflict with the two? So they can't go on both ends. What if they were to just like go on one? I think I already looked at this hypothetical. Dude. I'm really not sure. Okay. Can I prove it's not both of these? 'Cause then I can prove it's one of these, and I can prove it's both of these. So if it were these two, then we would see a corner elimination here. Nothing really useful over on this side. Yep. Let's look at this bottom left corner. If this were to go here, then we couldn't have it here and here. But that doesn't really have anything to do with that. At least one of them would have to. Why is this so hard? Wet. If we were to see like a cross, then this would go here, and this would go here, here, and here. These two would be in conflict, which would eliminate a lot of these. But also these two would be in conflict. Because dude. Yeah, and then there would be literally nothing that could light this one up. It would be all X'd off, completely surrounding the one. So, can't be a cross on either way. I feel like that should also tell me a little bit more than just looking at the two here. But it can't be these two. See if it were like these two or these two. I'm not sure if these would be possible. If I can prove that these two and these two are not possible, then I can prove it absolutely is these two. So if these two were to go here, then we'd see doot. I would put these two in conflict, eliminating these two columns. I'm looking at these two, right? Yeah. So doot. So that would put these two in conflict, and it would put these two in conflict, which would make that impossible. So that means it's absolutely these two. Sweet. Alright, that gives us a corner elimination here. Alright, and now what? This is good. Progress has been made. I've been recording for 24 minutes, so I've only spent like 16 minutes on this puzzle so far, which is nice. what else would cause these two and these two to go into conflict at the same time. This row being blue, probably, with these two being the vitals. So, and this one being a vital as well. So if this row were blue, you would see a light here, and a light here, here, and here. And then these two would be in conflict, these two would be in conflict, and this is completely surrounded by X's. So that makes this and this the two vitals on this row, which eliminates everything else. And can we apply the same logic, like diagonally symmetrically? So if this column were blue, this would go here, and then this would go here and here, putting these two in conflict, and then this would go here, which puts these two in conflict, and then this one's completely surrounded. So yeah, same deal with this and this being the vitals. Now, can we apply the same logic on the outer ones? So if this top row were blue, this would go here. This would go here, putting these two in conflict, and then this would go here. This would go here, putting these two in conflict. This one's completely surrounded. So yeah, same deal. And now what? Yep. I just realized that this and this aren't mapped to the same place if you mirror over the y equals x line. This were to go here, then okay, I'm gonna keep picturing if this bottom row were blue, then it's one of these on top, which means this is one of the sides, and then so it's one of these on the outsides, one of these on the insides, and then this and this, which puts these two in conflict. Bam, this one is blocked off. So that makes the vitals, I think, this one, and this one, which leaves one here, which gives us corner elimination here. Now, if this column were blue, then one of these would be on the sides, and one of them would be on top. Or I guess to the right. So we would have one on the top and bottom, and one on the right, and then that would put both of these here. And then, bam, this one's completely blocked off by this. Which makes these vitals here. That gives us a corner elimination there. Now let's imagine if this column were blue, then we would see one on the top or bottom, and then one on the left, and then that would mean these two would put these two, make these two work together, and then this one would be blocked off. So that makes the vitals I was looking at if this column was blue. That makes the vitals one of these two. So, now can we put it the same here? So if this whole row were blue, we would have one on the sides lit up, and then one lit up, and then that would mean this goes here and this goes here. Then we would have whatever on these, and then so we would have a light here, and then yeah, that would completely block off this one. Can I just prove it's not like on the outsides of these? Like it's just, no, it has to be one of them. Just because if we avoided going on the outsides, then it would still block this one off. Oh, there's only one left here. Yeah, okay. And does that tell us anything useful? I don't know. Yep. This can only be lit up by itself. This has to be one of these two. This seems like an optimal place to put it, but I'm not sure yet. Yep. I think this also can only be lit up by itself. Yeah. Just puts this here. Bam, bam, bam. And then this has to go here. And then that leaves one here. One here. This has to be lit up by that. These two have to be lit up by that. This goes here. And we're done. Sweet. Alright. 26 minutes, 28 seconds, perfect score. Alright, see you tomorrow when I'm completely out of my mind. Fortunately, tomorrow is going to be Monday, which is hopefully going to be a really easy puzzle that I should be able to do sedated. Alright, see ya!